Let's draw a girl from the 1980s.
The 1980s was the fashion era that was requested for the next drawing in this series. And I will be honest, the 1980s is not a fashion era I have spent a lot of time on in my fashion history career. I tend to focus on or study older costume histories, so this one was a fun and welcome challenge. I firmly believe that we should never stop learning, so I broke out the fashion history books I got on my bookshelf and did a little refresher on the wild world of the 1980s. When you think of the 1980s, what things come to mind? Maybe leg warmers and mullets, perhaps neon and jewel tone colors and big hair. Honestly, I do too. The 1980s was an amazing conglomerate of fashions that were inspired by the decades prior, as well as having its own contemporary, unique fashion as well. My degrees are in fashion and history, so being able to talk about it while making my art is such a dream. The 1980s is an era of many fashion aesthetics. You have the yuppies, the goths, the glams, just to name a few. There is a huge push for physical activity, cue the Let's Get Physical song. Spandex leotards, sweatbands, leg warmers, and side ponytails were embraced by many, while the goth punk era coming up from the youth of the UK quickly defined their version of style. Dark clothes are accessorized by safety pins, netting, and plaid. Leather jackets, rhinestone-studded crosses, and jewelry decorated their clothes. You have the New Romantics, which took inspiration from a mixture of eras, including the Romantic period of the 1830s, as well as the 1970s. The New Romantic look included layers of clothing that draped over the body and created a bit of an androgynous look. Women are working their way into corporate positions, requiring them to exude power and authority. We see the emergence of power suits, where women are wearing suits with padded shoulders, as a reminder that she is a girl boss and the one in charge, especially in a man's world. Everything was bigger in the 1980s. The hair, the accessories, the clothing, even with the shoulder pads, ruffles, and sleeves. Big accessories like bows, chunky necklaces, and costume jewelry were ever so popular. There were definitely a lot of nods to the Victorian era, with the Lego mutton sleeves of the 1890s and the standing collar of the 1870s and 1880s. My mother's wedding dress from the 1980s has lots of lace, gathered sleeves, and a high collar, and looking at the wedding dresses of that time, all had that touch of Victorian. Even the fingerless net gloves that were a popular accessory of the 1980s were a common accessory for women in the 1830s as well. I appreciate how fashion trends recycle all the time. They are just tweaked here and there to make it modern. We can even see that in fashion trends today. Anyways, we can't forget about the rainbow color palette for makeup. Makeup was bold and colorful, matching the chaotic colors of the 80s clothing as well. So we have multiple aesthetics marrying together to form 80s fashion. I decided to do 2 different aesthetics because there were just too many styles to choose from. So the one I am finishing here is based on the working corporate girly trying to make her way in the world. She has the teased hair and the fun, colorful makeup, but toned down for her 9 to 5. I added the romantic Victorian-inspired ruffles and big sleeves, complemented by the basic neutral pencil skirt. And honestly, she's adorable. I, of course, had to add the big wispy eyelashes as they are a signature look in all of my artwork. But then I had to draw her nighttime look, where she's heading to her favorite concert. Her hair is even bigger and curlier. Perms were highly popular for both men and women at this time. Her makeup is ever more vibrant and bold, with electric blue eyeshadow and bright pink blush and lipstick. She's got the leather jacket and jeweled tone shirt underneath, just ready to have a good time. And there we have it. 2 fun looks that give very different personalities. yet they're both very much the 1980s. Well, that's a wrap on my 1980s costume history draw with me video. I hope you enjoyed it, learned something, took something away from the video. I really enjoyed making it. Let me know what decade or historical period you would like to see me do next. Just comment below, and if you like this video and this series, feel free to like, subscribe, put comments in the video, and hit that notification bell. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.